Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye Blind Builds. Today we're talking about Lego with Blind Prime, and I'm your host, Blind Prime. Today we're going to talk about the differences between the Avengers Hall of Iron, the Avengers Hall of Armor set, and the from 2020, and the Iron-Man Armoury set from 2023. I've got both of them kind of spread out. I didn't build the entirety of the Iron-Man Armoury set, so there are a couple of things missing because I just couldn't figure it out and couldn't get a friend to build it. So we've got the we got most of it together. So did get some friends to build the majority of this, and I went ahead and built the armory things. So we're going to talk about that today in depth, do a compare contrast, and talk about if it's any good or not. And honestly speaking, coming out of the gate, I like it. I like it a lot. I think these are actually really fun sets. Both of them are, and we're going to bring it up today. So sit back, relax, drink some coffee or some sweet tea or some whatever your beverage of choice is, and listen to me blather on about about this. Now we're going to get into it with these two pieces here. They're the I guess the armors or something like that. They're the machines that put his armor on. The the one I have here in my right hand and the one I have in my left hand are very different from one another. Left hand guy is the one from 2023. Right hand guy is the one from 2020. I like the one from 2020 better. I think the one from 2020 is a lot cooler. It's got these cool arms on it that come around, though it's not as quite as big. The one from 2023 is definitely wider and it takes up a lot more space. Interestingly enough, the one from 2023 tapers down on all sides. The one from 2020 has this Technic pin on the end of it, so you could actually combine it with the rest of the things to make a little set or something. I thought it was kind of stupid, so I took that part. I took it apart because I was like, this just takes up a lot more space, and I don't like it. I'm going to actually be building something to hold this in. So let's see. Do I have a Lego figure? I think I have one guy just sitting here. Yeah, here he is. Come here, you. Okay, so we've got this guy here, and he just sits up there hanging out, watching all my shows. So we can put him in the 2021, and the cool thing about the 2021 is that it spins. It's got this cool spinny aspect to it. And they used a really neat way to get it to do this. I thought it was really cool. They used one of those satellite dishes that has the holes cut in it. So it gives a really cool sense of depth to this entire thing. You can spin the figure around in the center. It's on a turntable, and then you can have the little arms come over here, and like an arm can come over to his arm to like peel off the armor there, and you can have an arm come down here to his leg to peel off the armor there. I do think it's really neat, and both of these arms are articulated in. There's that bottom articulation point that allows for a lot of movement, like an insane amount of movement going on here. There's the middle elbow for it that allows for even more movement. Like if you put on a Hulkbuster, you can actually have these things spread out further to allow the Hulkbuster, full articulation so they can piece together or move the Hulkbuster armor. And even cooler, at the top there's another joint. So they have three joints in them, and then you can always just set them down and they roll. Actually, they go this way. You could just have them roll around the side, and you can kind of just tuck them in so they lay down flush on the ground when not in use. I think that's really cool. That's the 2021, and I do think it's the better one. Out of both of them, I'd be keeping this one to add to the structure I'm building, not the other one. So we're going to set that one to the side, and let's bring out the other one here. This one is static. It's very static. All it is these little staircase things and ramps that come up to the center, and that's it. It's more of just a little platform to display a minifigure more than it is a platform to do anything else. There's no sort of play action going on with this. It's just kind of neat. There's some cool tile usage going on here. a lot of nice tile usage and some really cool tiles. You got really nice things going on here, and mainly what I'd be doing with this is taking it apart to utilize these pieces in other builds, especially with the structure that I'm currently constructing to put all this Iron Man stuff in, because I got a lot of Hall of Iron and Armory parts, and I intend to put them together in one structure for my Lego city, and I hope it looks really nice. I'm currently building a Mills plate for it, and I'm going to showcase that on another day, so we can take a look at what a Mills plate looks like. And all right, so that's this. It's really kind of crappy. They do use these four corner plates, these big ones on the underside, and for the most part, I'm not 100% satisfied with this. I don't really like it. I think it's just kind of a waste of pieces. It's neat, but at the same time, they could have just redone this one from the 2020 set, and it would have worked out perfectly well. There was no need to reinvent the wheel here. And that's all I got to say for these two pieces. So let's set them off to the side, and let's talk about the smaller structures that came in with this set. So we're going to set these guys over here, and I'm going to put this figure back over here so he is not going to get in the way and I don't lose him. And now let's talk about the two vehicles that came with this. So now this is Igor. Igor came with the 2020 set, and I'm considering him the vehicle of the set because that set didn't come with a vehicle other than this guy. And Igor here is pretty neat. I like Igor. Some people don't necessarily like Igor. I think Igor here is a fun build. I think Igor here is a cool build. It's one of those Iron Man, like, it's an Iron Man armor, but where the Hulkbuster style armors don't seem to have knees, this guy, they gave him knees. They gave him knees. I love it. I love the fact that he's got knees, and he's even got some toe articulation going on. He's got some hip action. The ball jointed hips are pretty nice. He's got some really great range of motion. This is one of the better buildable action figures that we've gotten. I've gotten a few of the mechs, and none of the mechs are as nice as this Igor when it comes to articulation. This is a really well articulated figure, and I do like his hands. They're a bit clunky. They're definitely clunky as all get out, but at the same time they serve their purpose. They're really cool. I like them. I like the hands. I like this big bulbous front end. You can pick it up, and we've got nobody in there because they're currently Pepper Potts is currently somewhere else, but you've got a few moving pieces in there, so you can close this up and then close that on top of it, and then you close these pieces on either side to hide some of the gappage. There's still a few gaps, but for the most part, I like the Igor. I think the Igor is one of the more unique things to come from this stuff, and it is a really fun little figure. And it's not as massive as the Hulkbuster and stuff, so you can actually find a place to put this inside of a building. The Hulkbuster things are just a little too big for the interior of buildings, I think. So that is Igor here. Igor's really cool. I like Igor a lot. I think Igor is a definite bonus. And even better, when you're resting Igor, you just bend his knees, bring his thighs up, bend his knees. Okay, so we're just going to set him up, move the car over real quick. And this is actually what I think is one of the cooler parts of him. Reminds me a lot of Mech Assault. You can bring that piece up, and then this comes down to be a little ramp, and the arms just kind of hang out and go limp on either side of him, and you bend him forward just a bit more, and that's how you can just have him displayed inside of your armory as you can walk up the ramp and then get in and close him up and activate him. I think that's really cool, and it reminds me a lot of Mech Assault. If some of those mechs actually squatted down and the hatch is open so your character could climb in. So that's a really cool figure. I like Igor. I like Igor a lot, and I do recommend getting the set if you especially go for Igor. Igor's a lot of fun. And here we go with the vehicle that came in the 2023 Armory set. Now, I have done a lot to this vehicle. I gave myself a building challenge when it came to this thing. I, of course, replaced the windshield. I talked about replacing the windshield on a previous video I've done. I didn't like the 4 wide windshield. I wanted it a 6 wide windshield so I could put double seats in here. I wanted it to be a big seating area. Now, it's not perfect. It may need another redesign to actually be able to fit 2 characters side by side in here, and I'm still working at it. And I even give it a back seat where you could put other things. I currently have some spare pieces in the back, because back seats are just made for random junk. Uh, this vehicle is not exactly the vehicle that you'll be making if you follow the instructions, but I took the approach of the Audi and I just kind of gave it my own flair, what I remembered, and also tried my best to get a decent vehicle. Now, I think I may have put the wheels a little too far back and the front wheels a little not forward enough. I don't know. There's little things about this that I'm just like, yeah, I could have done better, but I do like this vehicle. I think it's nice. It came with some decent pieces, and it is definitely a good addition to this set. Um, then again, me in Lego vehicles, I am always against that single seat in the middle where only one figure can fit in. I don't like those. I like it to have 2 seats, and even though this doesn't really have 2 seats, if you don't put a figure in there, you can give it the impression of having 2 seats because of how I built it with these slanty things in there. I am going to actually take this apart a little bit and redo how I built the front seat because he does just kind of flop around in there a little too much. And I'm going to put some studs so I can actually put Tony Stark here in a solid position. And I'm not sure if this is the Tony Stark that came with the Sakarian Iron Man set or not, but this is the Audi car that came with the 2023 set. I do like it. I think it was a cool car. Came with a lot of great pieces and made for a very nice vehicle that rolls quite smoothly. I do like the car. The car is really cool and I enjoy it. And I think it's also one of the nice things about this sets. So now that we've talked about the vehicles that came with the Hall of Armor and the Armory set, and we've talked about the Iron Man construction things that came with those. Now let's bring out the actual Hall of Armor pieces and let's talk about them. So here is the 2023 Hall of Armor pieces. Not all of them, of course, but quite a few. And here are the 2022 Armory pieces, which I like more than the 2023 ones. It's one of those, why did you reinvent the wheel? Why did you reinvent the wheel at all? You didn't need to, you silly, silly engineers. Let's set that there and put this down. There we go. So I did get this one stickered up because my roommate really put this one together nicely. It's honestly, it's better than what we got in the 2023 version, in my opinion. Now, I have a few more of the 2023 blocks, but we only need these for this review. And then we have this nuts. I dropped it. It's hanging right. So let's set that there. Okay. So if you do something neat, if you do get both of these sets, you can connect them together to create a giant circle. I thought that was kind of neat, and it can be done. Now, let's talk about these sets in depth. Okay, I'll start with what I don't like in the 2020 set, and I'll finish with what I don't like in the 2023 set, and then we'll talk about what I like and what I like. So first off, what I don't like in the 2020 set is the size. I don't like how short these are in comparison to the 2023 Armory set. I think that these pieces could be just a smidge taller. Not by much, but definitely by a couple of bricks. Even them out with the ones that came out in 2023. I think one more brick in height would get these things perfect. That's my opinion. They're pretty nice. They're really compact. They're really piece heavy too. That's where the difference in the piece count comes from. in these two sets. These 2023 Armory pods are far less piece intensive than the 2020 Armory pods, and you can tell that by just holding individuals. So I've got this individual here, and I've got this individual here, and they weigh completely different. The 2023 one is as light as a feather in comparison to the 2021, which is far heavier. It's heavier duty. It's not going to break apart as easy as the 2023 one will. I dislike the 2023 one immensely in comparison to the 2021. But let's finish with what I don't like about 2020, and that's honestly it. I love the fact that, well, we'll get into what I like about the 2021 in a second. Let's move over here to the 2023 and talk about my dislikes, because there's a lot. I don't like the fact that we got these, this window platform here that doesn't have a window in it. It's weird that we would get window shells without windows. I don't like that. I would have just liked another window, or maybe not even had that piece there. Come up with something else, but they just wanted to make it as cheap as possible. Another thing I dislike about these sets is the fact that with the 2021s, we got a connection at the bottom and a connection at the top to make it super secure. In the 2023 one, only the connections are at the bottom. Stupid. Really stupid. The connections here are not really the greatest. There's no real studs on top. If you don't, there's one line of studs at the top, but most of this top is just tiled. It's kind of annoying that that's the case, but it is what it is. Tiled there, but not there. It's so you can't actually have a figure hanging out on top of this if you put these. Came with a few of these railings, and if you put a railing there, then your figure's not going to have anything to stand on. They're just going to kind of hang out there in the open. It's not really the greatest. Now, to fix that, you did have to build some extra little platforms, and let me see if I put some over here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Where are the extra platforms? Did I bring them out, or did I leave them somewhere else that I can't remember right now? I probably left them somewhere else because they are not here. No. So you could build these little platforms that were, they just had a couple of hooks in them and a plate on top of the hooks. It was stupid. It was really thin, and I didn't like it. I thought it was another just instance of piece waste going on. So, but I don't know what I did with them. I had a few of them. I brought them over here, I thought. But I guess they are somewhere else because I can't seem to find them. So let's not even bother with them. The idea behind them was you would put them on top, and that would bring out the more studs that you need. But then that would also make these things taller. But at the same time, they came with the hook pieces, so you could have the top connection. It was a little weird. It's a little wonky, and I like the old ones better. Now, let's talk about what I do like about the old set here, and then we'll talk about what I do like about the new set. Now, the old set here, I do like the fact that you got this cool ladder. You got a nice ladder that goes on the side, so your figure can climb up and get to the second level. The new set series came with some ramps that you had to build up to make it happen, but they just don't work right. And I'm like, well, how in the world? They didn't even give us a ladder. I'm like, I don't think you. How are you supposed to get to the next level without a ladder? It's just, it's weird, and not much thought went into it. It seems like the Lego designers for the newest one were just trying to push out some Iron Man stuff, and they quickly threw together something. It didn't seem to have the love and attention that the 2020 Armory set has. So there's that. The other things I like about this set, I like the top and bottom connectors for the you know, so that it makes it sturdier. I like its heft. This thing weighs a lot more, and it feels like it's a solid thing. Your cat's going to have a harder time knocking this off your table than they will the 2023 Iron-Man Hall of Armor set. And other things I like about this, it came with more of the rails than the 2023 version did, so you have nice safety rails going all the way around. Really, really appreciate safety rails. Safety first, people, safety first. And I appreciated that the way they did the tiling on the top, you could put a rail next to another rail and then have a little walkway with two rails on either side. I like that. I really like that. And I really dislike the fact that you couldn't do the same thing with the 2023 one. Um, Now, moving over here to the 2023 one, things I liked about the 2023 one, um, honestly, it's the pieces. I like the pieces in the 2023 one. These semi tiled upper pieces are going to be very nice for other builds. These garage door pieces are honestly the coolest part, okay? That's something, it's it's not the easiest thing in the world to find a decently priced set that has garage door pieces. It's, these pieces are still kind of new, in the sense of at least with the sense of Lego. I think the first time I came across them was the City Garage set, and then Assembly Square also seemed to have them, and those are the only times I had ever experienced them in my entire life of Lego, until I got this armory set, and each of these armory sets comes with two of these garage door pieces per cube, you know, per little armory piece, and they're supposed to act like little doors that semi shut, but they don't shut entirely. I don't like them. I think that the this design is it aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time, it's not functional. It's not functional. Um, Not really the greatest whenever it comes to that. But these garage door pieces are amazing, and I'm going to be connecting them together, and they connect together quite easily to create a nice garage door, which I intend to build for this the set that I'm building, or the city building that I'm building, to put all of these armory pieces in. I'm going to try and include a lot of these too, the 2023 versions, but I'm also going to change their look. I'm going to try my best to make them more like the 2020 versions, so everything is just kind of even and copacetic. These are nice, but at the same time, I dislike them. So I do like the pieces though. These are some great pieces, great windows. You got some nice vents going on there, some good vents. I love me some good vents. And then you have these 2x1s that have the holes in them, so that's really nice for other structures. And then you have some 2x1s that are modified with a grip on the side, so those are also pretty useful. Um, why they didn't add the more of these connector pieces up above, I'll never know. But that is these two sets. Not really much more to talk about in these. So let's move these off to the side, and let's talk about something that the 2023 set came with that the 2020 set did not. And that is honestly one of the more interesting aspects of this. See, the 2020 set came with a few extra things that we're about to talk about. Oh, there's also the satellite dish that did not come with the 2023 set, and the satellite dish is just a satellite dish and a little round thing, a little pole, some tiny little satellite dishes on the end of the pole, and then it's on a joint in a 2x2 block. You can just kind of set this anywhere if it will set. Come on, get in there. There you go. And it just kind of sets on the edge and acts as the little satellite dish for your base. So let's move the little cubes off to the side, and let's talk about what's honestly some of the coolest stuff that came out with this. I've got it all stationed, partitioned away in here so that I don't lose them, because these are all the lab pieces that I will end up making into a really nice lab structure. Okay, so that came with the 2023 set. Let's find the one that came with the 2020 set. Here it is. It's got a little seat and a little computers. Um, my friends did put the stickers on these computers. I wish they had put more stickers on for other things, make it look nicer. We got these two computer screens and they like to fall off. There's a little chair that swivels back and forth, nice little chair. You got this entire desk area. It's a rounded desk, so not like an L shape, it's more of a U desk. something that you would see, Batman using in the Batcave. Let's put this computer stuff back in that snappable position right there. Cool. I took a micro figure from the 2023 set and I set it down in the middle of this computer area. So he's got a little hologram of an Iron Man sitting in the very center. There's little room for other things, but it's a very cluttered desk. You got different keyboards and stuff going on here. Really nice. And there's one empty stud, so you could put a coffee cup. I think it's a really nice little thing. Four display panels, and then that little micro figure I added from the 2023 set. It's a nice little computer display, but that's it. That this computer display is the last of the things that came with the 2020 Armory set. So really nice to have that computer display, but overall, that's it. That was the last thing. And I'm going to set the computer display off to the side. It's not very big, but it does serve its purpose, and it will be included in my big build because I need a nice computer area for design. Now this came with the 2023 set, and this is the workstation for building the, repairing and maintaining. I think this is the Mark II or the Mark III armor. It's all in pieces. You got this leg assembly going on here. I did like it. I think this is a really cool little table with all this stuff. I cluttered it up a bit by putting all the stuff on it on the table so that I keep all the pieces of this Iron Man together. But in the sense of how Tony Stark works, a cluttered table, it works. And this is a really nice cluttered table because it's got little caster wheels, which I intend to just be changing out for some actual uh, maybe some sticks actually to make it look like little table legs. This will be a inclusion into the new structure I'm building, but my overall thoughts on it is I do like that little workstation. And that was the coolest thing that came from the 2023 set is these little workstations. You got this little workstation right here, cluttered with a bunch of experimental weapons and stuff and other doohickeys and things that Tony Stark came up with randomly, and it's just absolutely cluttered in. And I do like that. He's an absent-minded inventor, so having just cluttered workstations in your build makes sense, and I think it's really cool. Now here is nope, that is not part of the armory sets. That right here is not part of the armory sets. I've got a few other things in here for other parts. This is part of it, and I think this is one of the cooler things that came out in the armory set. It's a press, and this is neat. Okay, so this is a it presses steel and makes his armor parts or rivets them together, depending on I guess the use of this. But that is really cool. I think that having this thing is just really neat. And oops, I broke it a bit. Oops. Let's put that back together. So the idea here is that there's this little thing there, and it presses down and makes a rivet or something like that into metal pieces, so he can build his armor. And this is definitely a nice addition to your work area for Iron Man. The press is cool. Now let's see what this is. Is this another piece that came with the Iron Man set? No, this is Rocket Raccoon's thing that came in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2022 Advent Calendar. And that came in the 2022 Advent Calendar. And this right here came in the 2022 Advent Calendar. It's just a table of muffins. That came in the 2022 Advent Calendar. Trying to see what I have left from this Iron Man set in here. But these are all a bunch of things that I intend to be building with in the future. Let's see. This came in the 2022 Advent Calendar. And this. That's another thing that did not come in the 2022 Advent Calendar. What about you? Did you come in? No, you're just a dolly. Okay, and you came in the 2022 Advent Calendar. Yes, you did. Don't lie to me. Okay. And then we have this fun microscope from Beast. Beast, the minifigure from the the new Marvel minifigure Series 2 line came with a microscope, and I'm like, oh, well, that's an excellent addition to what I'm trying to build here. So I'll mix in a bit of a laboratory, and then finally, for the 2023 Armory set, we've got this really fun uh, cabinet. And you've got these two cabinet doors or drawers on either side. There's 4 drawers in this thing. Pretty cool. You can use your thumbnail to open each of them up. I don't know if any of them have stuff in them. Let's see. Let's see if we put stuff in these drawers. Oh, we did. We did put something in this drawer. Let's see what this is. This is a random little piece. I don't know what it's for, but it's kind of neat. So you can just put that back in the drawer. Each of these drawers has something in it. You can store a lot of stuff in these drawers, or at least just small things, but they're still pretty neat. No, that one doesn't have anything in it. And then on top, we've got more cluttered stuff going on. We've got a his thing that fits in his chest. The proof that Tony Stark has a heart is right there on the side. I think I got that in the advent calendar, but I put it there for night, for safekeeping. We've got another little. That's actually just a. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Maybe just part of something else. We got a little micro figure up here too. Another little hologram of a Iron-Man armor, and then a really fun desk lamp, which will be going on the same desk that the microscope goes on whenever we're done. I'm just keeping it here for safekeeping. And then on the bottom, it's got some little rounded bits. Funny they didn't put caster wheels on this guy. So set all this stuff back in. And that's all of what came in the 2023 Armory set, except for the minifigures, which we are about to talk about right at this moment. Where is that? There it is. Let's set you back in here so I don't lose any of these pieces, because all of this stuff is going to end up going inside of the laboratory section for the build that I'm doing. And set you off to over here to the side. And now let's talk about some of the minifigures that came with this series. You're not. You're a transformer. And I'm just going to set that off to the side. Okay, so minifigure wise, we've got Whiplash here. Excellent little minifigure. I like Whiplash. I like having some bad guys in my collection. So that's a fun little bad guy to have. Over here we've got a. This is the War Machine, and I actually have another War Machine over here somewhere that I wanted to talk about with you. I hope I didn't just accidentally push him off somewhere where I don't know where he's at anymore. Happens. Oh, I found the things. So these are the things that I was talking about. They fit on top of the armory pieces to kind of finish up the look. I don't like them, but I do have the tool chest that came with the 2023 the 2023 Advent Calendar set, because any workshop needs a tool chest, and I do find it really weird. This is the first tool chest I've ever gotten, and it took an Advent Calendar to give it to me. Isn't that neat? So that's the pieces. They're kind of flimsy. And where did I put that War Machine? Oh man, War Machine, where did you go? Oh, here you are. Okay, cool. So here's War Machine from the War Machine mech from 2020, the Endgame War Machine. He's got an opening helmet, and I don't like him. And the reason I don't like him is because of this. I don't like the stud shooters. I'm not a fan of stud shooters, and I don't like the fact he's got a stud shooter coming off the side. Now, the one that came with this armory set from 2023 is the better War Machine, because he's got this on his corner. It's like a lightsaber hilt, but they turned it into something that it more resembles the missile launcher that War Machine has in the second Iron Man movie. And I like this figure better. I like that thing on the side. I don't like the big bulky stud shooter. It just gets in the way. It's a bit too much. But having this dude on the side is excellent. I'm not a fan of stud shooters, but I am a fan of this War Machine that came in the 2023 Armory set. Compared to the other War Machine, this one's just better. I like him a lot better. Now, I don't know if I like the different helmets. Like the War Machine helmet here is pretty cool. But let me know in the comments below, are the War Machine helmets similarly colored? Like, could I switch these War Machines out, these helmets out, and it still look nice? Let me know in the comments below if that still looks nice with the other War Machine helmet on it. I would really appreciate that if you did that. Thank you so much. So let's set this War Machine off to the side, and let's continue talking about the minifigures that came in the 2023 Hall of Armory set. Um, that is our War Machine. Now we've got Whiplash, War Machine. We've got, this is the Mark 85 armor that came in there. He's got these cool little, um, flying things on his back. He's really neat. He's got a lot going on, a little blast effect happening out of his hand. I think it'd be cool if he'd had a piece on his chest so you could do a unibeam blast effect. I do wish they would put that into an Iron Man. I think that would be kind of neat. But this Iron Man is pretty cool. Opening and closing helmet. It doesn't latch shut though. None of the newer helmets latch shut. But next to them, that's pretty cool. I do like this Iron Man, and having a I ended up getting two Mark 85s because a Mark 85 came in the Avengers Advent Calendar for 2023. I gave that to my roommate because with the little wing backpack because I like this Iron Man better. I think it was just a better Iron Man. Now, further going on, we've got Nick Fury here. And once again, we got a I wish Lego would come up with bald caps. I don't like having this stud just hanging out on the top of a minifigure. I so want to put something on that, and having a bald cap would change that. I do wish we would get some bald caps already. But Nick Fury here comes with his own little coffee cup, and that's about it for Nick Fury. And he's a bland minifigure, but it's a nice one to have, especially if you don't have a Nick Fury. Now, furthering on, we've got Pepper Potts here. Tell her by her hair. Pepper Potts is the decent little minifigure. Nothing to really write home about, though I do like her bob. Her pulled back hair is kind of nice, and yeah, nice little addition to your minifigure collection, especially if you don't have a Pepper Potts. And we're getting over here to this Iron Man. This is the construction Iron Man. Came with a really cool piece, okay? The piece on the end of this is a cheese wedge, but it's a double-sided cheese wedge. So instead of the pyramid pieces where you got four sides that come together to a point, this is the double cheese wedge. So it's got a side on each, it's got two angled sides that come together in a sharp angle, like a knife or something. And He's got these on each of his arms because he's a construction mecha and he's supposed to just be pounding away at pavement and stuff. This is a fun addition, and I like his pauldrons, which, by the way, I didn't mention, but Whiplash has got the same pauldrons on his shoulders. Really cool addition to armor. I like their feel. I like their texture, and I do like this guy. I think this is the Striker, but I'm not sure. And I forgot the mark number for it. My bad. Now, finally, what did I knock over? Oh, clipped over. Did I have another? Did this guy come with another minifigure? We've got this, but that it did not. He did not come with that minifigure. I think that's all the minifigures. Surprisingly, not really that many come with this set, but a decent number. A decent number indeed. Yeah, that's all the minifigures that came with it, including this normal Tony Stark that came with it. And we get the same exact normal Tony Stark in the Sakurian Iron Man set. So I've ended up getting two Tony Starks and two Mark 85s, but that's okay. I gave away